Welcome back to Today. Well, superannuation giant CBUS is this morning issuing an apology to 10,000 members. The fund allegedly delaying up to $20 million in death and disability payments and now facing penalties of up to $50 million. Joining us to discuss today's headlines is ALP President, National President and CBUS Chairman Wayne Swan and Independent MP Di Lee. Good to see you both.
Good morning.
Wayne, I'll start with you. This is quite a mess. How could it have gotten to this?
Well, we're deeply sorry that it did get to this. When we first heard about it, the board resolved to do as much as we possibly could to resolve this as quickly as possible. As you're aware, construction is a dangerous industry and therefore insurance is very important. 80% of these claims have now been resolved, and in addition to that, we are paying compensation. The cause of this lay principally with a third-party operator, but we are ultimately responsible for that and we accept that responsibility. We're sorry it happened and we're determined to ensure it never happens again.
Yeah, I mean, that did come out yesterday in Senate estimates blaming the Japanese company that was apparently tasked with administering this. But this is, it hurts really at the time when families, when individuals are hurting the most. They're most vulnerable. A victim fronted the front page of The Australian. We saw that yesterday, revealing that she waited 10 months for compensation after her 52-year-old husband died of cancer. I mean, 10 months, she's grieving and she still has to wait for his payment to come through?
When I first heard about this, I felt sick in the guts. Insurance claims, however, can be complex, and apart from processing delays, there will be other reasons why some cases are much more difficult to resolve.
Yeah, but Swanee, it's so much worse with CBUS comparatively when we're talking about these funds.
I couldn't agree more, which is why the board is absolutely determined to fix this. This is not just a CBUS problem, however. It's a wider problem across a number of funds relating to the third-party administrator.
All right,
but we accept responsibility for getting this fixed and making sure it never happens again.
I guess the question really is about how it got to this point and why it was allowed to fester for so long. I mean, should you, Wayne, as the chairman of CBUS, face penalties? In the past, you've slammed bank boards over misconduct in 2018, saying a fish rots from the head, and what we're seeing here is weak board supervision. That rests solely with you. So does the same go for you?
This is a matter for legal action. I can assure you from the minute I became aware of this as chair of the board, I worked with the board to resolve it as quickly as possible. We have construction representatives on our board. They also know how important this is. And the minute that we found out about the magnitude of the problem, we got stuck into it to get it fixed.
Di, I can see you here to my side, shaking your head throughout all of that. I mean, Wayne has accepted responsibility to an extent, but the fact that...
No, I've accepted complete responsibility, not to an extent. I do accept complete responsibility for it.
I guess it's just about whether or not it should have gotten to this point, right?
No, it shouldn't, and I think this is the heart of the problem for many, and not just CBUS, but I think many insurances, you know, they go out there and they collect, you know, we get paid, people pay so quickly, they get the money, you know, pay to protect themselves, and when it's time to give the money back to those in need, and in this case, the loved ones of the disease, it takes so long for insurances to actually process the claims and they investigate you as if you've committed a crime. So this is not just the CBUS, but across the whole insurance industry. We need to look at this. They've increased the fee as well for insurance as well, and people are struggling to pay, but they collect the money so quickly from us. They say pay up so that you can cover you, and when it comes to the time when they need it, the insurance just don't pay up.
Yeah, and the other thing is it's a $50 million fine. Swanee, we hope that members of CBUS won't have to pay that. I mean, you say full responsibility. For some, that might be you leaving. That's accountability.
Well, can I just make this point? We pay out 98% of our claims, unlike most insurance companies.
Well, the $50 million fine, who's going to pay that if you do cop it in the end?
Well, I can't go through that. That's subject to legal action as well.
Well, should the CFMEU pay it, for example, instead of members?
The CFMEU are only 3 seats on our board. There's been a lot of characterisation of our fund in the last couple of days that has been completely inaccurate and would take more time than we've got this morning for me to clear it up.
All right. Is responsibility the same as accountability, just finally, Swanee?
I accept accountability, responsibility completely.
All right. Thank you very much for joining us today. Di, thank you so much for your input as well. Appreciate it. Pal.